In the annals of time, there lies a question, as enigmatic as the heavens themselves. Why was the body of Moses never discovered? The text describes Moses as vigorous and clear-eyed even at the age of 120, a testament to the extraordinary nature of his calling and life. His story, an epic chronicled with painstaking detail in the Pentateuch, specifically in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 34, describes Moses' final moments with a mixture of solemnity and mystery. His life, resplendent with miracles, is a testament to the Almighty's sovereign power over creation, beneficent towards his chosen people. Yet, the enigma persists, the mystery of his undiscovered body, a question that has perplexed scholars and the faithful for generations. Why was Moses' body never found? What secrets does it hold? Born amidst peril, his infancy shadowed by the specter of death as Pharaoh's decree sought to quench the light of Israel's future. Moses' tale begins in the heart of a crisis, where a pharaoh, fearful of the growing Hebrew population, issued a grim command. Every newborn Hebrew boy was to be cast into the Nile. Yet, in the face of such a dire edict, Moses' mother, Jochebed, made a daring move. She hid her son for 3 months, defying the pharaoh's cruel decree. When concealment was no longer viable, Jochebed crafted a waterproof basket, and setting her precious cargo adrift on the Nile, she entrusted her son to the mercy of the Lord. Unbeknownst to her, the daughter of Pharaoh, drawn to the river's edge, discovered the basket. Moved by the crying infant, she chose to adopt him, thereby saving him from the fate decreed by her own father. And so, Moses, a Hebrew child by birth, was raised as an Egyptian prince, educated in all the wisdom of the Pharaoh's court. He was groomed for leadership, learning the art of governance, the strategies of war, and the intricacies of diplomacy, all while living a life of privilege and opulence. Yet beneath the veneer of Egyptian royalty, his Hebrew roots remained, a silent song echoing in the chambers of his heart. A pivotal moment came when Moses, now a grown man, encountered an Egyptian taskmaster brutalizing a Hebrew slave. The sight stirred a fierce rage within him, and in a fit of anger, he killed the taskmaster. This act of defiance, coupled with the fear of Pharaoh's retribution, led Moses to flee Egypt, seeking refuge in the land of Midian. In this desert land, far from the grandeur of Egypt, Moses found a new life, marrying Zipporah, a Midianite woman, and becoming a shepherd, tending his father-in-law's flock. Yet, even in this tranquil existence, the call of destiny whispered, preparing him for the monumental task that lay ahead. By divine irony, the daughter of Pharaoh became his protector, nurturing the deliverer in the very heart of Egypt. And so, the stage was set for Moses' journey from prince to prophet, from Egypt to the wilderness, from the life he knew to the destiny he was chosen to fulfill. As the sands of time flowed, Moses, prince of Egypt, felt the indelible call of God, his soul stirred by the suffering of his brethren. A single act of defiance, a life taken in the shadows, propelled him into the wilderness, a fugitive seeking solace in Midian's embrace. It was in this rustic solitude, amidst the simplicity of shepherd life, that a divine encounter would forever change the course of his existence. In a spectacle of holy fire, a bush aflame yet unconsumed, Moses heard the call of the divine. This was no ordinary conflagration. It was a divine manifestation, a direct communication from God, the creator of the universe. God's message was clear: "Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt." Exodus 3:10. And so, armed with divine purpose, Moses returned to Egypt, standing before Pharaoh not as a prince but as the mouthpiece of the Almighty, a beacon of hope for the oppressed Hebrews. His staff, a shepherd's tool, became an instrument of divine power, performing miracles that defied the wisdom of the Egyptians. The Nile turned to blood, frogs swarmed the land, and darkness enveloped Egypt, among other wonders. These were not mere spectacles of magic, but divine signs, each plague a testament to God's sovereignty, a denouncement of Egypt's false gods. Yet Pharaoh's heart remained hardened, his defiance unyielding until the final and most devastating plague, the death of the firstborn. Then came the Exodus, a mass departure of the Hebrews from the land of their captivity. At the Red Sea, another miracle unfolded. Moses, raising his staff, parted the mighty waters, creating a path for the Hebrews to cross. As they reached the other side, the waters closed, swallowing Pharaoh's pursuing army. Through plagues tenfold and seas parted, Moses stood as the conduit of God's might, the liberator of Israel. His journey was far from over, but he had answered the call, defied a tyrant, and led his people towards the promise of a better tomorrow. Yet the journey was fraught, the wilderness a crucible, shaping a nation from the bonds of slavery. Yet the wilderness was more than a gauntlet of physical trials, but even as they stood on the threshold of the promised land, a bitter pill awaited Moses. At Meribah, amidst another bout of thirst, Moses was instructed by God to speak to a rock, but in a moment of anger he struck it instead. This act of disobedience, this failure to uphold God's sanctity in the eyes of the people, cost him dearly. God declared, "Because you believed me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them." Numbers 20:12. Moses, the lawgiver, the servant of the Lord, departed this life on Mount Nebo. The circumstances surrounding Moses' death and burial are shrouded in mystery. The Bible tells us that he died at the Lord's command and was buried in an unknown location in Moab. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord, and he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab over against Beth Peor, but no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day. Deuteronomy 34:5-6. Deuteronomy 34:5-6 NIV. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in Moab, as the Lord had said. He buried him in Moab, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, but to this day no one knows where his grave is. This canonical account is remarkable for several reasons. Firstly, it emphasizes Moses' unique relationship with God, describing him as the servant of the Lord, a title that signifies his unparalleled role in God's plan. The phrase, "as the Lord had said," underscores the fulfillment of God's will, reminding readers of the divine authority governing Moses' life and death. According to Jewish traditions, after Gabriel's successful repulsion of the devil's claim over Moses' body, it is God who undertakes the burial. By personally ensuring Moses' burial, God sanctifies the site, keeping it hidden from the world. This secrecy prevents the grave from becoming a place of idolatry or undue veneration, aligning with the biblical theme that worship should be directed towards God alone, not his servants, no matter how righteous or revered they may be. Lastly, this narrative element reinforces the victory of divine will over evil. By directly intervening to bury Moses, God asserts his authority over life, death, and the eternal destiny of souls, effectively nullifying the devil's claims and attempts to mar the legacy of his servant.